My name is Carson. Welcome to Thrifty Garage, a channel where we do everyday repairs, how-tos, and reviews. And in today's video, we'll be doing part of a three-part series where we look at sprinkler and irrigation parts, tools, and parts storage. Today's video will be on sprinkler parts. I'm a landscape contractor, and in today's video we'll be taking a look at the parts that I use as a landscape contractor, give you an idea what you might need whether you're a residential homeowner or contractor. Just wrapping up this storage solution video, so we'll get right into the parts video. If you're interested in this part storage, Milwaukee versus Walt, check out that other video. Without further ado, let's get into it. First of all, my reasoning for using these is I'm kind of a portable business and I do a lot of different things, a lot of odds and ends. I go from sprinkler installs to sprinkler repair to lawn mowing to paver installs. So huge assortment of landscape projects, so I needed something that I could pull in and out of a trailer quickly and easily. And I didn't intend this to be kept in the trailer, but it's ended up keeping a home, and I'm actually going to try and reconfigure my trailer so that I have more of a permanent place for this storage solution. This works great. I've got so many different things packed into one little solution. When I was a landscape installer, we had a whole trailer dedicated to sprinkler parts. And we do installs and half the wall was full of sprinkler parts, and then the other half would be our landscape tools and all that. A full enclosed trailer just for sprinkler installs. And right now I'm using a 7x14 for everything. Sprinkler, irrigation, mowing, landscaping. So this has been a real big part of that and how that works out for me. So inside here, we've got our big parts. This is mostly our unused stuff. On the bottom here, we've got some 1.5-inch slip fixes, larger stuff for our commercial accounts. We've got large couplers. We've also got some rubber couplers bought for drainage projects. A lot of the stuff is unused, stuff we purchased and kept. And we've got some 3/4 slip fixes in here. We've got some 1-inch galvanized nipples. This is probably like a 10-inch. We've got a coupler on there. Just a good assortment of larger stuff. This is the stuff that I tend to need, but not on the everyday. Next storage box. This gets more into our sprinkler install parts. So here we've got our 1-inch tees, slip with a 1/2-inch thread inside them. This goes in all of our lateral lines. We put drains in here. We put swing pipe extensions. These, and the most often thing we screw in here, we've got this king drain. This will screw in here in a lateral line and discharge the line when it's not charged with water. And then we've also got our funny pipe elbow. These screw in there, and these connect to your funny pipe, which you screw one in the pipe, screw one in the head. This gives you a flexible solution of where your head's at. If somebody drives on top of the head, it's not going to break your pipe. So this is pretty common, new irrigation systems. We've also got some of these little things from Home Depot. These are just meant to slide over, fix a crack. They do not have the fitting blown out, but you can blow it out and add a fitting there. These are kind of a temporary fix and solution. I would rather use a slip fix than these. I don't use this very often, but it is in here just in case. So this is my tee box. We also have our slip tee, all 1-inch. So for the majority, our sprinkler systems are all 1-inch pipe size. It just works out best that way. Okay, next up, we've got these little trays. These trays are what I use to put my parts on when I go to an install and have everything that I need in an assortment. Here we've got a lot of assortment. These are not my common everyday stuff, but they are in here. We've got some adapters for poly pipe. We've got a female adapter. We've got some 45s. We've got a hose bib. And we've got a 3/4-inch nipple, schedule 80. And we've got a 1/2-inch nipple or riser, again, schedule 80. Some hose clamps. 1/2-inch threaded cap. But these are kind of just an assortment that I've got in here. The main bulk of the business in here is my elbows. So we've got our 1-inch elbows, and I'm getting kind of low here, we've got our 1-inch elbow with a 1/2-inch thread adapter, and we've got our 1-inch couplers. All these are getting low, so I've got new parts to add in here, which will bring us to these parts. I ordered this valve box full of parts from Sprinkler Warehouse. If you're looking for an online solution, really good, competitive, not a sponsor of the channel, would love if they would sponsor the channel. They can reach out to me in the description down below. These parts from them, competitive pricing, shipped to my door pretty quick. Whether you're a homeowner or a contractor, it's really not a bad solution. With things that have happened in the past couple months, I will say it's important to support local. So even though my local suppliers, I've got Ewing as my main supplier, I also have a site one. In the past, I've also used Sprinkler Supply, Sprinkler World. There's other ones as well across the country, depending on where you're at regionally. Home Depot, Lowe's are just not a good solution. They're overpriced parts, and they don't have everything you need. But Sprinkler Warehouse has been a great solution. And the reason I say you should support local, even though they might be more expensive, is because when things get bad, they're in a bind, you need a lender, you need someone to talk to, they're there to help you out. My local Ewing, I don't have anything close by. I am an hour away in 2 different directions, and then 2 hours away in 2 other directions in order to get parts. So I don't really have a good local supplier, but my Ewing will bring me out parts an hour away. They try to group it up. They try to make it make sense for them. Usually they want a $1,000 order approximately, but they've been really great to work with, and they really have been flexible. And that's one thing I won't get when it comes to something like this where I go to Sprinkler Warehouse online. If shipping is backed up or bad, if we're having things that are affecting workflow, parts coming in, you're just not going to get your parts when you need them, and that's not going to be okay for jobs. So timing is important, so make sure you're taking care of those people, patting them on the back, scratching their back, so when you need your scratch, you're ready to go. Anyways, little rant right there. Had to throw it in, but we'll go ahead and top off. Ordered some more couplers. While we're here, we'll just dig into it real quick. I ordered these Drycon nuts. These are their, I want to say these are the large or medium sized nuts. 22 to 8 gauge wire, a quantity of 20. I don't use these large ones very often, but wanted to have some. We've got some 10-band nozzles, more wiring connectors. So these are your grease caps. So you have these normal wire nuts in here, and then you dip them in these grease tubes. So those are a great solution. Kind of expensive. A lot of commercial jobs actually spec those out and require those. I prefer 3/4 inch Teflon, and I always get it in the longest lengths possible. It's always nice to have these. I throw one in the truck, one in the trailer, one in these storage bins. I have them everywhere. Okay, we've got our 1/2-inch barbed fittings for your swing joints. Got some metal adapters. Ordered a Hunter valve. Don't use these a ton, but I ordered these for replacement parts. If I'm doing a sprinkler system that has all Hunter, if I have to replace the valve, I'll replace it with this one. Or if I want to pull parts off it, rob parts and put it on, this is something I wanted to have in inventory. So it's something I'm always doing, is I'm always adding to my inventory as the business grows in order to take care of jobs. Got some 15-band nozzles. Got some 1-inch slip fix. Some 1-inch to 1/2-inch threaded elbows. Regular elbows. That's pretty much it. Obviously, I also ordered a valve box. I also added an extender. So these little short valve box risers are great. They're built to set on top of the normal valve box, so you just stick it on top and you've got a little riser, 6-8 inches. Okay, next up we got our top box. These have these little things on top here. Haven't used these at all. Kind of too small for my purposes. But we've got some 45s in here. Another 45. Got some miscellaneous, mostly winterization stuff here in the middle. Different adapters. These are really good adapters to have. We've got hose to air compressor adapters. Really nice. A bunch of female adapters. And I actually ordered some more male adapters. So the female adapters work really great. You just slide them in with the males, and they store in here really quite nicely. I do have some threaded 1 inch in here as well. Okay, and as I'm growing and expanding, definitely needing more storage solutions, so we're running out of room in these guys. Okay, this is kind of my smaller storage and these Milwaukee storage bins. And this is not really my install stuff, but this is kind of just my everything, my repairs, just to have everything with me. These two are small enough that I'll tend to take them in the truck if I don't have the trailer with me. So we've got our king drains, we've got 1/2 inch and 3/4 inch adapters for flex and funny pipe. We've got our funny pipe couplers, funny pipe tees, some Teflon. We've also got some sprinkler key in there, and some screws and inserts for like controller storage and installs. Those are just my leftovers. Put them in there. We've got miscellaneous 3/4 adapters. I need to get some more 3/4. Don't use a ton of that, but those are occasional on some repairs. We've got a hose adapter, drip adapter. Haven't used this in years. We've got our Drycon. These nuts, I use a ton of these guys. These have silicone in them, and they are my go-to. Would not do sprinkler wiring without that. This little friction cutter is really nice. Hard to reach pipes and fittings. They do tend to kink and wind up after very few uses, and they do get snags on them, but they work really well. We've got male and female adapter, some nozzles, and I usually carry extra heads with me as well, so we'll show you that. So I'm getting filled up on storage. Gonna need to add another one of these to the kit, if not two. We've got 1/2 inch threaded caps and plugs. We've got drip. Drips tend to go on this way. When I first started, we had these little compression ends. These things are super brittle, broke, and the drip comes in different sizes. So we've got like 17 millimeter and 19 millimeter. I believe a lot of this brown Rainbird stuff is 17 millimeter, and these are the only way to go for that. If you try and use these other fittings, they're too big and they won't seal. And these smaller fittings do have a hard time getting on here, but you can usually make them fit. So these are my preferred over this older style. Again, these were just super brittle and always broke. We always had issues with those snapping off and springing a massive leak on drip. So we've got drip coupler, drip tee, drip 1/2 inch threaded adapter. We've got some of those wire silicone tubes. Some miscellaneous larger king silicone wire nuts in there. A 3/4 to 1 inch adapter. Few more 3/4 parts. Here's my hunter key. So keep a Rainbird in here. That was a little valve adapter for the Rainbirds. We've got some threaded adapters, slip caps, just 3/4 elbow. These hose adapters are really nice. Whenever I find a system that has a cut pipe, I will back flush from the head and I'll hook on one of these so we can thread this guy into the line, and then we can thread a hose on here and give it some back pressure. Helps clear out any debris, prevent those heads from getting clogged with rocks. Works really well. We got a female to female hose adapter. Works really well for back charging a system as well. Use these plugs on a pool in the past. You slide it into the pipe and you thread this on, and it swells up this rubber, and it'll cap an end of a pipe if you need to cap a pipe. And we've got a few miscellaneous drip adapters, and this is kind of our drip bin as well. So this is kind of my main stuff, the main go-to stuff. I also carry around other parts. Obviously, you need your glue and primer. Primer is really only needed on the larger pipe sizes, but use it especially if it's cold. Great way to do this is to duct tape them together. And this is an old one that needs to go in the trash. So we got our different nozzles. We've got the 15 van. We've got a 12, a 12F. We've got a 10 van. We've got 8 van. I think these are 6 vans. these orange ones. So these nozzles go in your traditional 4-inch pop-up. These orange caps are just a flush cap. So when you install them new, you stick them on, turn on the system, any debris will get flushed out. Remove this cap. Install these guys on here. I've seen a few on my startups that had these flush caps still on there. So as far as all your different nozzles, just depend on how far they need to go. There is different flow ratings for these, so be mindful of that. We got some more drip stuff. We got some 1-gallon emitters, some 2-gallon emitters, and we've got these old bags. We got the diffuser bug caps and the barbed adapters. We just have the basically couplers. I don't use a ton of these, but I run into enough drip repairs that I need to use them. Here we got some more heads. We've got the Rainbird 5000 series heads. And I actually picked up these 5000 plus this last install I did. One thing I really liked about the Hunters when installing those is they have an on-off feature. So when you're turning on and when you're sodding an area, it's really nice to turn on one head at a time. And this last go around I paid a little bit extra. I got the Hunter or the Rainbird Plus, and this gives you the option to turn off the head, which you don't use it very often, but it's really nice when you do need it. We've got some old dry cons, my chicken waterers. You'll have to see my chicken videos if you're interested in any of that. So we got a ton of heads in here. We've got obviously our nozzles. These all come with new nozzles. So we got the Hunter 1-inch valve. We've also got the Rainbird 1-inch valve. Really common, especially these Rainbirds are very common valves. Probably say 80% of my jobs have those whenever I'm doing repairs. It's good to have those. These schedule-80 unions are really nice. You know, if you've got a really difficult pipe repair, you could put these on there, and they just got this little rubber gasket on here, and allows you to do a really tight connection on a pipe, or if you need a removable pipe, if you've got a backflow that you want to remove, these would be a good option. I prefer not to use Schedule 80 on backflows. I actually use galvanized, but it is an option. Most of the ones I see around here are Schedule 40 PVC, which do get brittle in the sun. It's a nifty little guy. So this is an adapter for your drip. You stick your drip on here, and then you back thread this, and it adds pressure onto that and holds it on. It's a hose adapter. This came with my Bluetooth tap timer, and really useful little adapter for the hose. Okay, we've got some miscellaneous brass ball valves. We've got a 3/4 inch here, got a 1 inch here. Don't use a ton of these. These are usually my main shut-off valves. I usually just keep them in stock, so if I've got a plumber coming out, they have this as an option for their shut-off valve. We also have these Schedule 80 nipples. These actually I use a ton on my manifolds. I like buying the full-size nipples, and I'll cut them off. Like when I'm doing a backflow, if I've got a galvanized 90 or elbow, I'll screw this into there, and then I have a little bit of an extension so I can add a coupler, so we don't have as much pressure on a 1-inch fitting going into a metal fitting. So really good option. Anything that's high stress or has a potential to break, again, you can use these going into your valves, just a little bit stronger than your traditional PVC. We've got a roll of funny pipe here. I think these are 100-foot rolls. And then obviously we've got all of our controller parts. Here's our Link Wi-Fi module for Rainbirds. We've got our Hunter Hydrorized Pro HC, and we've got our, so there's the Hunter. I've got separate videos on these controllers. Rainbird ESP, I've already installed this one. Been doing, here's one I took off. Been doing a lot of installs this year, replacing controllers and upgrading to Wi-Fi. Pigtails, one of these came, yeah, this one came off the Rainbird. I ended up hardwiring that one in. And then here's a kit for the Hunter Hydrorized Pro HC. But yeah, there's my quick rundown of all my different parts and things I use for my sprinkler side of the business. Well, thanks for watching this Thrifty Garage video. Hope you enjoyed it. If you would, please give us a big thumbs up and like. Leave any questions or comments down below. And if you aren't already subscribed to the channel, please consider subscribing. And thanks for watching Thrifty Garage, where we take a look. My name is Carson, and today's video we'll be doing a sprinkler and irrigation, where we take a look at sprinkler and irrigation. Shut up.